Climate change is having a huge impact on the forestry industry in New South Wales. So what is climate change? Our climate is changing due to increased human activities such as the burning of fossil fuels including coal, oil, natural gas, and agriculture and land clearing. One of the biggest impacts is the fire weather increase. With shorter winters and hotter summers, the risk of bushfires in the forestry plantations is fast increasing. Climate change projections are indicating that New South Wales is going to get hotter and drier, and studies using the Forest Fire Danger Index, the FFDI, and the Grassland Fire Danger Index, the GFDI, to provide an indication of fire risk based on various weather variables such as daily temperatures, humidity and wind speed, show that the combined frequencies of days with very high or extreme FFDI ratings are likely to increase by 4 to 25% by 2020 and 15 to 70% by 2050. This increase also impacts on the burn-off window, shifting and narrowing it to avoid increased risk of bushfires. Areas of forestry that have already suffered from bushfires, such as the Murray Valley area, are at further increased risk as they try to build what was already lost. The increased fire risk affects more than just the plantations. Many plantations are close to residential properties and even towns, meaning that if a fire were to break out due to the hotter and drier weather conditions, the fire will be able to spread faster and easier towards the residential properties, leading to loss of more than just the plantations, but rather home and communities also. And these losses and damages can be quite costly. From 1960 to 2001, there were 224 fire-related deaths, 4,505 injuries, and $2,475 million in damages. The fires in 1983 cost $138 million in fire-insured damages, with a significant component of those costs being damage to the forestry plantations. The fires in Canberra in 2003 cost $342 million in fire-insured damages. These figures are quite devastating, and global warming is likely to increase fire frequency and severity. With increased fires comes increased carbon dioxide excretion along with other greenhouse gases, adding to the blanket around the atmosphere, leading to such intense climate change. The major identified hazards for the plantation-based industries include more prolonged droughts and annual temperatures, more severe fire danger risk days, and higher susceptibility to pest and disease outbreaks. Currently, short-term adaptation plans include managing drought risk through thinning regimes and weed control, fire risk through residue management, and vigour through fertilising, weed control and pest management. These management control plans will only be sufficient to deal with small incremental changes in climate. Over the longer term, more complex plans will need to be put in place, such as the deployment of new genetic material. There are currently a number of barriers to adaptation to climate change in the forestry industry. These include a lack of belief that climate change is occurring, uncertainty about the impacts of climate change, a lack of tools to assist managers in dealing with the complex nature of climate change impacts, and financial barriers. A first step would be integrating risk planning for a changing climate into sustainable forest management practices that will enable forest enterprises to monitor and better understand the impacts of current climatic events. General population can help slow down the effects of climate change by reducing our carbon footprint. This can be done by walking or taking public transport, changing your light bulbs, switching to solar power, and staying unplugged from technology as much as possible. Small changes make a big difference.